So there's a whole Three Stooges thing during the commercial break where they're Curly from the Three Stooges up there. He's caught in a cage of pipes with water shooting all over.
That was us. That was me and Travis just now. I've got something.
Water coming out of the rain.
Something that needs to be fixed, and nothing but homos here. That was us. We were up there.
God.
We can tell you to decorate.
Thank you. Okay.
There's just a waterfall coming down the stairs.
Do you see he was focused mostly on Donald Trump's horrible decor and not the top secret?
Well, his design aesthetic is offensive.
Yeah. Although I will say, I did notice the carpeting. The carpeting is hideous. I will give you that.
It is.
I haven't seen the other pictures, but
I guarantee you, it's leftover commercial carpeting from one of his casinos.
Because he
didn't want to pay for regular carpeting.
Okay.
Of course. Yes. Because the inside of Mar-a-Lago looks like Trump Tower farted in there.
Yes.
That's the decor inside Mar-a-Lago.
With humidity.
So gaudy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bob, what do you think of that filing overnight by the okay. Wait a minute, let's just get through the rest of it, shall we?
Okay.
So they were right. So they had said, yes, you have everything. It's all in boxes and it's all been blah. When FBI agents raided the Trump property in August, they found more than 100 additional classified papers. So his lawyers, prosecutors point, his lawyers, what's her name? Christina Bobb, and the other one, Corcoran, as so uncooperative as to lead agents to suspect the Trump team might be obstructing the investigation. The filing, for instance, says when FBI agents and Jay Bratt, the chief of the counterintelligence section, met with Trump's two representatives in early June, the former president's counsel explicitly prohibited government personnel from opening or looking inside any of the boxes. So that's how you know you're completely innocent. It's just those boxes, not those. Listen to me very carefully. Put the candle back. Okay. Yet earlier this month, Bob told the Washington Post that the lawyers showed federal officials the boxes and that Bratt and others spent time looking through the materials. Okay, so you can't. Donald Trump lies nonstop, but you can't lie if you're an attorney and get away with it. So, right at that same June 3rd meeting. The filing states neither counsel nor the custodian asserted that the former president had declassified the documents or asserted any claim of executive privilege. So this is all as usual, too little, too late, this special master filing, right? And just an obvious attempt to delay.
Right, and he has no standing to declare executive privilege either, and that was made clear in this document as well.
Right.
And the question I have is whether or not Donald Trump was in on the lie to the FBI from June 3rd, where they signed that statement, where Christina Bobb signed that statement and said, no more documents, and by the way, don't look over there. Don't look in that thing, that room. Don't go near there.
For sure, it's not in there.
Yeah, exactly. But did he instruct Christina Bobb to say no more documents? Or did Christina Bobb go out on her own and do this herself? And so that's the big question. Did Donald Trump aid and abet lying to the FBI?
Right.
That's the other,
Well, the Bob Cesca rule, Trump always makes things worse for Trump.
Of course.
As you said on Twitter, Trump thought he could delay the process by waiting 2 weeks. His doofus strategy with these things is always to run out the clock whenever possible. But this time it backfired because the review team had already finished its work. Trump fumbles again. But also, now, like this response from the DOJ, they didn't have, they only did this because of his stupid doofus filing, right?
Right. And I'm convinced that the clock that he's going to run out is the clock to 2024.
Right.
He wants to delay this as much as possible. And it seems like a bit of a stretch to get that far ahead in time. But I think what he's waiting for is Republican President X to come along. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's another Republican to win the presidency and pardon him and get him out from under all of this.
Yeah.
So we should be prepared for the fact Donald Trump's going to try to delay and delay and delay. Every motion, every step is going to be challenged, just as he did here. But at the same time, he seems to not be doing it correctly because he screws himself in the process, which is what he did with these. It was stalling for 2 weeks, waiting for 2 weeks. And then in the meantime, the filter team from DOJ goes through all the documents and is able to ascertain what's attorney-client privilege and so on.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's all done. And we discovered that also in this document.
Well, you also, speaking of 2024 that you just brought up, Bob, you said, I used to be hawkish about him running, but now I'm convinced he simply can't afford to run. He'd lose access to Save America PAC, and the RNC would stop paying his legal bills, $2 million so far and counting, by the way. He's only teasing a campaign as a PR legal defense. Well,
yeah,
this, of all his spaz outs, this one, I think by far, I think we're at 100 posts, right?
Yeah.
Like he's clearly freaking. It's hard to predict what he's going to do next, isn't it?
Oh yeah. But I love the RNC aspect of all of this, and it was weird. I was getting some pushback on Twitter about it. Shocking that I would get pushback on Twitter of all places. But I was saying that exact thing about how the RNC already stated that it will not continue to pay his legal bills if he declares for president, because of course they have to remain impartial during the primaries. And I think candidate Ron DeSantis might have something to say about Donald Trump getting all of this free money, millions of dollars covering his legal fees, and nothing going to Ron DeSantis. But then we heard yesterday, which is confirming this, or at least partially confirming this, that the RNC is not going to be paying his legal bills when it comes to the Mar-a-Lago document theft issue. So that matter is not going to be covered by the RNC at all as far as Donald Trump's legal bills. So that's maybe why Donald Trump is flipping to the back of the phone book and finding whatever Better Call Saul he can in Florida to represent him in this, because he can't afford anything else. I mean, let's bear in mind, Donald Trump claims to be a billionaire. This is the ongoing myth.
Mr. Trusty, his new lawyer from TV, is not trusty? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. I love that. Oh my God, another guy who was probably chosen because he has a funny name. Donald Trump just loves funny names. It's like Homer Simpson seeing the dog with the puffy tail. Chasing, oh, come here, Poof Poof.
He's so trusty. I like him. Okay.
Remember, Donald Trump does not have any money. Donald Trump's entire fortune is held together with Scotch tape and barbed wire.
Right.
There's nothing there. And Russian money. It's just that's all that's left.
Yeah. Well,
running on fumes.
People defending him, but you retweeted Rachel Bidikofer, who said 35% of the country is caught up in a mass psychosis similar to only to other totalitarian movements. That's why it's now or never for the rule of law. And you just said American nervous breakdown. I mean, and this is what we were saying. Like, are they going to? It's hard to get your head around. Like, now what do Republicans say? This gets worse and worse. They keep asking for more information. The DOJ's like, okay,
all right, right. Yeah. If you need it, sure, we can provide it. That's okay. Keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah. This is one of those cases where the mass delusion, the American nervous breakdown in this country is writ large. We're seeing it I can't believe they're going this far to defend such an obvious crook. And I'm not just talking about the last 7 years. As Cliff Schechter was pointing out, as I've been pointing out for a long time now, we've all known about Donald Trump going back to the 1970s. Yeah. His MO, his behavior has always been the same. This is what he's always done. There's nothing new here. Yeah. And anyone who's going, oh, well, oh my God, why are they persecuting him?
Yeah.
Gee, open a newspaper going back to the 70s, for God's sake.
Yeah. Or as Trump would say, why are people so mean?
Oh my God. Yeah. See, I don't know whether to be, I was saying to Chris before, I don't know whether to be delighted by that or just brutally offended by the gaslighting.
Right.
It's
and also
all at once.
You respond, because I just read a bunch of Trouncenshals, whatever. I just read them.
Trots.
But people say we shouldn't repeat them or whatever. And you said sometimes it's important to know what he's saying in the context of criticizing him. Pretending he doesn't exist is a mistake.
Right.
And you said there's a massive difference between allowing Trump to tweet whatever he wants and whenever he wants versus curating and reposting egregious remarks in the context of mocking, criticizing, or debunking what he says. Same goes for Fox News clip, etc. Not sure why this is controversial.
Yeah. I mean, it's basic Sun Tzu. I mean, essentially, know your enemy as you know yourself, and you will win 100 battles.
Right.
That's the governing philosophy behind occasionally sharing something that Donald Trump says on Truth Central.
Right.
And so And that's always been my thing. I feel as though if we ignore what the greatest political enemy that America has faced in at least 150 years, if we ignore that, what is that? How does that prepare us to be participants in this debate? How does it prepare us to push back against this movement if we're going la 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 la, not listening every time someone mentions something that Donald Trump said, whether it's on this show or on Twitter or whatever? It's ludicrous.
I had not heard of you pointed, Aaron Rupar pointed out, GOP endorsed Minnesota House candidate Mark Bischofsky on his governing philosophy. I want to make it clear that if we were to implement and legislate all our conservative values onto people, there will be people that suffer. And you just said more top-notch Republican messaging, people will suffer. I mean, but we keep saying cruelty is the point, right?
Yeah. If you're paying attention to Twitter or anything else, any social media, any news at all, you're going to realize that the Republican messaging is horrible. There was another tweet that Buzz Burbank shared last week from this guy who's running for attorney general in Arizona, Abe Hamada. And Abe Hamada said, people are going to hate us. People are going to hate what we do no matter what.
Right.
That was the tweet from this guy. So we might as well just do what we want. People are going to hate it anyway. And so that's their message. Or these ridiculous Border Patrol tweets that continue on and on and on about how we've got this border crisis, and yet Joe Biden has broken all kinds of records as far as seizing fentanyl, seizing meth, stopping people on the terrorist watch list. It doesn't make any sense. And yet we're still going, oh my God, why is the Democratic messaging so bad? I swear to God,
I was
as hinky as the Democratic message might be occasionally, it's nowhere near as bad as the Republican message.
Right.
Not even close.
It's the whole student debt thing. It's like, I suffered paying back my loans. Everyone should have to suffer forever. We should not ever try to make anything better for anyone ever. Like, it just, right?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't. Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Andrew Yang tweeted, talked to a couple of high school students last night. I said to them, a country this size should have more than 2 political parties. They said yes. We then high-fived. And you said, here's a list of all the current office holders from third parties. Andrew Yang needs to get his facts straight before he talks to children. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, this is a case where I think Andrew Yang is thinking about the presidency a little bit too much, because if you're to dig down, obviously there are 2 members of the United States Senate who are independents. There are several on the House side. There are quite a few at the state level who are not a Republican or a Democrat. So there are third party. And even if there weren't any elected officials who were from third parties, there are third parties that do exist.
Yes.
They're just not as viable as the Republicans and the Democrats for financial purposes and so on. And so it's just utterly counterfactual to say to a group of high school students, hey, you know what? There are no third parties in this country. I don't know what the deal is. Never mind the Libertarian Party and the Green Party and my brand new book promotion party. They do exist. They're there. It's just a matter of whether or not they're viable, whether or not they can actually
Bob, enough about how to fix the country. Do you know how to fix what appears to be a water main break coming from your, I don't know, let's say sprinkler system that's gushing into your house and studio at the moment? Do you have any idea how you...
I know.
Is there a separate shutoff for the outside and the inside?
Yes. They're these 3 guys, Larry, Curly, and Mo. And they do a wonderful job. They come in with a wrench.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a tiger licking their toes for some reason. I don't know what that is all. It's all about. But they'll fix it. They'll fix it eventually.
Okay.
Yeah. Make
Thanks,
sure to
Bob.
have a big soiree at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's really confusing.